everybody. Welcome back to this Sacred Sisterhood podcast. It's been a hot minute. Been a super hot minute since I've broadcasted a episode because I took the majority part of this winter off for deep work, deep spiritual purging, deep spiritual upgrading, just really completely letting go of every fragment of who I thought I was to make room for this next version of myself. And some really intense things came through this past winter. And in all of that, I took a huge step back from creating, really minimized my presence on social media. And since the last few months with my business, I've been really working on really just allowing whatever that needs to come through and opening myself up to channel and really honing in on what it is that I'm meant to bring into this world. And just the last couple of weeks, I've been starting to feel the call to get back on doing the podcast again. And then it all kind of just clicked in for me yesterday. I had a few people on Instagram that wanted to watch my broadcast yesterday on Facebook about what is required of your evolution for your revolution. And as a lot of people I'm finding are deleting their Facebooks and just being on Instagram. And so anyways, I decided, you know what a perfect opportunity for me to relaunch my business, relaunch my podcast and have the first episodes that's relaunched linked in with that Facebook Live recording, the audio files, that those on Instagram that are in my tribe there that aren't on Facebook can still access that super potent material and super potent divine wisdom transmissions that were coming through. So before I put on what my Facebook Live audio file was yesterday, that was all jamming out on what is required of your evolution for your revolution. And I share a little bit about my story in there as far as what has been the major shifts in me this last 6 months, give or take. And I just kind of want to update everybody that was listening to the show that is now listening to it again. What has been going on for the last 6 months? Well, holy shit has been going on. It has been super intense. We have transitioned into new earth. Portals are opening every single day. We are ascending like super rapidly. All of this, basically, there's been super intense solar storms on the sun that have been hitting us with these blasts of plasma and blasts of high frequency light. So all of this cosmic light is coming down from the sun and hitting Earth, which has been increasing her Schumann resonance, which is her frequency, Mama Gaia's heartbeat. And Mama Gaia's heartbeat has been slowly increasing over time. So generally, like, her home frequency measures at 7.83 hertz. I started to really monitor the Schumann resonance in February, March, just because of all these crazy ascension symptoms that I was experiencing. And I wanted to kind of check what was going on with Mama Earth. And she was spiking some days over 100 hertz. Which is 12 times higher than what she normally is. And so her frequency has been increasing. The vibration of Earth has been increasing, which is why there's been this rise of the feminine, this divine mother presence that has overcome us, that is burning through all of these old belief systems and old patriarchal systems that are based on fear and control that just cannot sustain in the new earth. And so with Mother Earth's frequency increasing so drastically, what happens to Earth happens to humans as well. Her frequency is increasing and so are ours. And so as the human body is adjusting to holding these levels of light, that if this would have hit us like 500 years ago, it would have obliterated humanity. We would have all gone extinct because there's no way we would have been able to handle that much light, and we would have been like, we just would have been like these, we just would have exploded into stars, as beautiful as that sounds. So with this increasing in vibration in humans, what it's doing is it's transmuting the darkness into light. This is transmuting the heavier, denser frequencies, the energies in our body, transmuting it to light in order for our body to hold the higher frequency. So our shadows are being basically shone on, and we're forced to deal with them now. Like, we are healing our shadows, and we're not only healing our own woundings, us empaths, us humans that are very highly sensitive, that have been feeling what's been going on in the cosmos this last 6 months, and have been feeling their bodies change, and have been noticing how like intensely they've been feeling the energy, and have their gifts are really like amplifying, and new gifts are unveiling themselves, and they're starting to see beings, they're starting to hear things. Everything's just changing because the veil is gone. The veil between our material worlds and the spiritual world is gone, which has allowed us for like instant manifestation, but also in both positive, negative directions. And so it's just created great destruction and great turmoil and chaos in all of our lives, as it's this divine mother is like burning through all that is not in alignment with our highest potential. Because we are now feeling the call more than ever to rise up and to be doing our healing work, and to be assisting in the healing of humanity around us in whatever form that means to you. Whether it be saying hi and how is your day, and to the person that's serving you coffee, and if they seem off, just ask them, are you okay? Like, being a compassionate human. Maybe that's being really involved in humanitarian stuff and the environmental issues. Maybe that's becoming a healer. Maybe that's becoming a mama, because you want to pass down all of your wisdom to your child so that they can make a difference in like 20 years as they start to grow and ascend and so forth, and to be part of the team of this group of way showers that are helping with the healing of humanity. So, and I get into this on my Facebook Live, but I just wanted to provide kind of a pre-context and kind of wrap it all up with a nice little bow of where has Mary been this past 6 months. Mary has been dealing with intense grief. Well, she was dealing with intense grief. That is now very collapsed, and that's a timeline that's now collapsed, and I've created great space in between me and that timeline, because I've done so much work on healing around that and forgiving the being that betrayed me and everything that came along with that. So I was dealing with grief, and then I got sick for 6 weeks. It was intense. And here's the thing. A lot of people are getting sick because this is our bodies detoxing and moving energy. So getting sick isn't necessarily a bad thing. Generally you're upgrading. Like, your body is catching up with all of the work that you've been doing internally, like in your mind. So in that time that I was sick for 6 weeks, I had a fever of over 104.4 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not someone that I'm very natural when I don't take painkillers or don't take antibiotics. It got to a point that I had to take Tylenol to bring my fever down, and all sorts. It was just a really, really crazy, I've never been that sick before. And in that time, my eye color changed from like a dull blue. It electrified itself to like a ocean bright blue. Like, I remember looking in the mirror and just saying to my fiance, my eyes look like alien eyes. Now I know why. But my eyes are reflecting more light, and so they're much more blue. And in that time, my skin completely cleared up because I've been working on detoxing my body off of birth control hormone that I went off of a year and a half ago. And so I've been dealing with adult acne. And in that time, my face completely cleared up, something that I hadn't experienced in well over a year. And just all sorts of changes. And in that time is when I opened myself up fully to channeling and being a clear, open channel for my multi-dimensional galactic family to start speaking through me, to start speaking to me. I just remember like I was like in and out of like this fevery state. And I was having trouble meditating at that time, like truly connecting, because I was like coughing and all sorts of gross stuff. And all of a sudden I just heard, "We are the White Light Society." And it's just all unfolded very beautifully from there. And it's been such a process of initiations and such a process of me unraveling like deeper worthiness wounds. I didn't know how deep I could possibly get into it because I've done so much work around it already, but it was just continuing to unravel these worthiness stuff, continuing to unravel any sorts of self-doubt and any sort of like, just like great transmutation was moving through me in that time. And just, it was intense, but so beautiful at the same time, because as I emerged out of that with the fullness that I am, I emerged out of that knowing truly through every cell of my being, deeply ingrained into my bones, why I am here, what I came here to do, and what my mission is. I am here to help with the ascension of humanity. I am here, just as I looked at my recording thing, it said 11:11 as I said that. I love that. I'm here to help with the ascension of humanity. And how that looks is there is a large group of humans that are awakening right now with all of this cosmic light that's coming through us. But us, as highly sensitive people, us that have already been on the path for, a year, 2 years, 3 years, even longer, even if you're just been on it for a few months, we were feeling it first because we're highly sensitive. And so we are going through the process of doing all of our own healing so we can help the next person through it, basically. And so my messaging has so greatly changed to now assist this next wave of women that are desiring to bring their gifts and magic into the world, but still have a lot of the inner work and the collapsing of timelines and letting go of the self-belief and learning how to truly trust and surrender into the divine and trusting in their own voices, helping them with their own ascension symptoms and helping them with their own healing and dark nights of the soul and ego deaths, and helping them truly recognize and remember just how powerful they are. So it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey for me. And I'm getting married in 6 weeks from tomorrow in Spain. So all of my family and friends are coming over from Canada to infuse with my fiance's people on this side of the world. My fiance is Irish. And so there's going to be Canadians, going to be Irish. There's going to be people from Belgium, from people from Spain, people from Austria, which is where we live now. It's just going to be this beautiful infusion of who I used to be, all the people that represent and stand for the Mary that was Alberta born on the dry, desolate prairies, this little farm girl, and watching her grow and supporting her grow, and then supporting her to this point of her then leaping across the ocean to be with her soulmate. And then it's just this beautiful celebration of infusing my old life with my new life. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have the people that mean so much to us all in one place, all on one continent. So that's what's been going on in Maryland, and I'm going to, just because I want to be mindful of your time, I'm going to go ahead and transition into yesterday's Facebook Live about what is required of your evolution for your revolution. And thank you everybody for watching and for being here and for supporting the evolution of everything that this is and everything that we are. And I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending so much love as we grow and ascend and work through and surrender through this wild cosmic ride of ascension and new earth and fifth dimension. And so the Sacred Sheepak Show is not Sacred Sheepak Show. That's the name of my Facebook group. I always mix those two up. The Sacred Sisterhood podcast is going to be taking a huge shift from what I was talking about to what I'm talking about now. And I thought about deleting all of the old episodes, but then I was like, no, I'm going to leave that up there just so that people can see the evolution and the growth and just see how quickly a person can grow in literally like 6 months by just showing up and doing the work and surrendering and allowing the divine guidance to flow through. Okay, here we go. Moving it on over to the Facebook Live recording.
Hi, everybody. I just went for a nice little nature walk and I found myself this incredible tree who I swear is probably like 150, 200 years old, and she's canopying all around me, and she has these most amazing like flower cup blooms on her right now. It's amazing, and I would stand up and show you it, except I'm sitting on the grass in a dress, and it took me a lot to get to the point of being able to properly sit down so people couldn't see my yuha. But I will probably, if I remember, to show you at the end of the video these beautiful flower cup blooms that I've never seen before. Austria is filled with so much magic and fruitfulness and abundance, and it's just so amazing seeing and appreciating all of these new breeds and species of trees and plants that I am not familiar with back home. Is that Terry? Did Terry just hop on? Hi, Terry. Terry was my bus driver in junior high. The coolest bus driver ever. Yeah, and we're about to get an electric storm, which is going to be incredible. This will be our first thunderstorm of like the spring, summer here, and the thunderstorms here are crazy. So I'm really excited for it. So I might just take a few minutes just to wait until more people hop on. It's kind of a funky time of day for everyone back home in Canada because a lot of you are just heading off to work at this time. Yeah, it's 4:00 in the afternoon here for me. So today I want to talk to you all about what is required of you for your evolution, for your revolution, because there are so many of you feeling a call to do more, feeling a call to branch out of your normal paradigm, feeling a call to really dive deep with your own healing, as well as feeling this call to bring your magic to the world, whatever form that is. Maybe you love to paint and you're starting to get like this little nibbling thought that like, do you think I could make money for my paintings? Right? Or maybe you want to launch a blog, or whoever hops on, please like comment below and say hi. I can't see who is on or not. I'm gonna see if I can like turn on the comments. 3 people, hi. No, that's not how. If you guys could comment below so I at least know. Oh, there's a comment. Tamara Higgins is watching. If you guys should drop a comment so I know that the comments are working. That way I can actually see them. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to see them on here, which is too bad. But oh well. So yeah, maybe you're feeling like you have healing gifts that you're ready. Hi, Tamara. Ready to bring into the world, or maybe you're just thinking of starting to write, or hi Sarah, or maybe you're just starting to think about maybe you want to become a mom. You're just feeling a call to a different direction, to something different. That's something that's really outside of your comfort zone. And what this is doing is bringing up like a bunch of fears and self-doubt, and thank you, Sarah. Sarah is burning some prairie sage while I chat, which I appreciate so much. I was burning prairie sage earlier too, but now I'm under a beautiful tree. So we're all feeling this call to really dive deeper into our healing, our spirituality, feeling the call to start businesses, starting to heal others. We're all starting to feel like this call and this rise up. But in order for us to do so and be successful at it, in a sense of whatever your definition of success is, but my definition of success is pure abundance in every single way. that is the most joyful, expansive, amazing experiences. Being able to nurture and take care of my body, being able to go on super cool trips and be able to buy myself whatever I need, whatever I desire, and be able to invest greatly in amazing charities that are helping save the world, like cleaning up ocean projects, being able to share prosperity with my loved ones, being able to send my family on free trips, just that's prosperity, that's abundance to me. It's abundance in all areas. It's having amazing magical connections with people and having an expansive, amazing marriage with my husband to be. And it's being out in nature and enjoying the fruitfulness of nature and having the abundance of time to spend time taking care of myself and doing activities that I enjoy and serving, right? To me, that's abundance. And so many of us have been limited by old masculine paradigms that have really made us in this place of struggling, where we are giving up our time to work for someone else when we, deep down, there's a part of us that wants to launch our own business. Or, like being forced to work during our periods when we have really, really bad cramps. Feeling like it's not safe for you to call in sick when you're like super sick with the flu because you're going to end up losing your job over it. All sorts of things that have really kept us out of our ability to like really live these amazing, expansive, abundant, fruitful lives. Right? So a lot of us are starting to question that and step outside of this and be like, okay, I want change. How can I change my reality? Because everything that's going on the external reality is merely a reflection of what's going on in the internal reality. Right? We're all living in this like video game fantasy game, this matrix of all of these like crazy amounts of parallel timelines where we're all living all sorts of different realities based on those timelines. Like there is a version of you that is still with your high school boyfriend and lived out that life. There is a version of you that is living the most expansive, prosperous, joyful life in a relationship with her soulmate and all of those things, doing the things, getting paid very highly to do so. There's a version of her out there, right? So what we need to do when we're feeling this call is we have to drop into our inner energetics. Our inner energetics is where we have to be cleaning up all of the energetic muck, the fears, the uncertainties, the insecurities, the conditioning that have been programmed into us that have made us feel safer to be small. So as we start to question what we've been taught and the way that we've been living life and start craving more, start wanting to do something different, we have all of these fear patterns, all of these fear paradigms that we have to collapse in order to smoothly transition into whatever it is that you desire to do. If you want to bring your healing gifts to the world, if you want to launch that blog, if you want to become a mama and you have like a bunch of your own family healing to work through as well, in order for you to feel like completely confident that you're going to be a badass mama, which you are going to be an amazing badass mama. Okay, so we're really feeling that call to get serious about our healing, get serious about where the imbalances are in our inner reality in order to make the shifts and changes and expanded awareness around the subject so that we can heal that part of us and collapse that timeline and jump into the next timeline. But as we're doing this, we tend to get caught up in self-sabotage, in doubt, in fear spirals, and all of it. And then we end up not taking those steps forward, right? We just end up looping. Or just as you're about to like launch something, or just as you're about to start working on your website, suddenly you're going through like this mad dark night of the soul and like crazy ascension symptoms, and it totally throws you for a loop, and any progress that you were making towards launching that business or starting the thing is lost because you just spiraled out with the energetic chaos, the energetic storms and chaos that is within you. And so in these times, when things are so amplified energetically with all of the light that's been coming through down onto the earth from the cosmic from like the cosmos, from all the solar storms, is our fears are amplified, as well as the like blissful states are amplified. Everything's just amplified. And wherever you put your thought into, wherever you put your energy and focus into, it starts to immediately expand. So if you start to move down a worry cycle where you're like, oh shit, like, who am I to do this? Am I good enough? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm not going to have the money, all those things. When you start looping down that, you can go so far in so quickly that it's instantly manifesting. That day it starts to manifest. It's like instantly creating in your reality. And this has speeded up. This has only started happening the last few months. We've been like preparing for this. Whereas on the flip side, if you're focusing on positive things, on where you want to go, on what it's going to take for you to get there, on you expanding your net, on you expanding your awareness around the subject that you need healing on, and just trusting that it's all going to come together and trusting that you're fully supported, divinely supported, you will grow in that direction and you will be making these quantum fucking leaps like that. And I recognize that some people's channel are a lot clearer than others. So it does come down to how diligent are you with doing your inner work. A bird just like flew into my experience. How diligent are you to doing your inner work every single day? That's meditating daily. Meditating daily so that you clear out all the junk and all the thought forms that are floating around in your mind that aren't even yours more times than not. Often they're like the collectives that you're thinking, or your neighbor thought a thought, or whatever. You saw something on TV and it just like went in there. When you meditate, you clear all that out and you come home to your home space, to your true frequency, your home space. But if you do not meditate in the morning and connect with that first thing, you are operating from fear programs from society, from social media, from the news, from all of it. You're operating on old fear programs that do not serve our greatest good. We are being called now more than ever to be doing our work to integrate our higher self in. Because, give me a minute. If we allow our inner child to be in complete control, we're going to continue spiraling and spiraling and spiraling and continuing to create this same reality of pain and suffering and poverty in our experience until we get to the point of fully anchoring and integrating that higher self in. Annette, what would you recommend for meditation? To start with, using the app Insight Timer. It's free. It's an app on your phone. They have so many different kinds of meditations, but start with a guided meditation at first until you get to the point of just being able to listen to like binaural beats and being able to get yourself connected on your own. I personally listen to Equisync. It balances your right hemisphere with the left hemisphere of your brain, which is your masculine, feminine energies, as well as your logical, creative sides. And I listen to that for 23 minutes, and it like puts you into theta within only a few minutes of listening to it and just connecting with your breath. Each person's meditation practice is different, but to start with, it only takes 10 minutes, and then keep working it up until you can hold 20 minutes, until you can hold half hour, until you could hold an hour. I used to meditate an hour every single day. Now I've combined that with, I do various things throughout my day, but I meditate for 23 minutes minimum a day with multiple other energy things that I'm doing. So we need to be connecting with our higher self daily so that we can operate from her, so that we don't feed into our inner child's tantrums, allowing her to completely take over and allowing her to completely derail everything. Okay? Because your higher self, when you operate from your higher self, you're able to be the observer of your thoughts and not allow your thoughts to become you. Thoughts are always going to be coming and going. Always. Always. Observe them and release, let the ones go that you don't want. Something pops into your head and you don't like it. Say, no, that's not my thought. Send it back to sender, please. Get out. Clear, cleanse, dismiss, dispel. Gone. And then plug something in that feels better. because thoughts are just energy that are floating around us, right? When we think a thought, it just pops into it, and someone's other like thought cloud goes into our mind, and we think that, and we think it as our own thought. A lot of our like worthiness shit and scarcity shit, that's because it's a collective fear, because there's so many people keeping that energy of that thought alive because they have allowed it to so greatly grip them and affect their experience. So the more people that do this work on this ascension journey and break that matrix of the conditioning of us not feeling good enough, us not being good enough, us feeling like it's safer to be small, us being in constant fight, flight, or freeze mode because of the shit that's getting pumped into through social media, the shit that's getting pumped into the news, all of that. Hi, Maureen. Thanks for hopping on. Have a great day. I hope you can catch the replay. All of that shit that's coming through are designed to keep us in fear and keep us out of our power. So as the more of us focus on clearing our channel and being like mindful as fuck about what's coming through and being the sovereign creators around declaring what it is that we desire in our experience and kicking out whatever it is that we don't want in our experience. Thought comes in, I don't like it, I'm going to fucking let it go. I'm going to let it go. We have to be super diligent about protecting that shit so that there's less people feeding in to that collective fear, that collective idea, so that we don't keep that alive. That shit does not exist in the fifth dimension. That is too, I feel like I'm yelling. I'm in like this cove surrounded by all these apartments, but underneath a like huge tree. So my voice is probably like echoing through the entire area. Everyone's getting it. Everyone's going to get this. So in the fifth dimension, we're operating at super high frequencies. The matrix is built off of really, really high frequencies. So those lower density fear shit, all that stuff cannot exist in the fifth dimension. So what's happening right now is we are transmuting all of that fear, all of that lower density, all of that shit. We're transmuting that back into light so that in the fifth dimension, it's a complete grid of love, a complete grid of compassion and unity, and us working together as a community with our mother Gaia, with our mother Earth. And so it's the light workers, it's the healers, it's the ones that think outside of the box, it's the way raisers, it's the star seeds that we are being called to step up and do the healing because it's transmuting through us. And so a lot of you are feeling that call that, okay, I want to start a healing business. I want to start selling my jewelry. I want to start selling my art. I want to like be able to make an impact in the world. I want to help with the healing. We're all feeling that call. Any one of you that's watching this is feeling that call right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching. I talk directly to my people. I talk directly to the ones that are here to make a difference, that are here with contracts to help with the ascension of humanity and the healing of humanity. But we have to be doing our inner work in order to do so, because we are transmuting the darker, denser, heavier energies, the fears, the limitations, the what ifs, the self-doubts, the doubt in the divine, the doubt that we're supported. We have to transmute all that into light for us to be the being that holds these high frequencies that is pouring down from the cosmos in order to grant us the ability to powerfully create everything that we desire. In order for us to be able to instantly manifest something that we desire, our channel has to be clear. We have to be doing the work. We have to be magnetic as fuck to our desires. And to be magnetic as fuck means you expanding the consciousness to become the container that can hold such. If you want to run a successful healing business where you are getting paid your fucking worth for it, you gotta be doing the goddamn work on your worth so that you are not subconsciously blocking consistent clients to come in. You have to be doing the work on expanding your awareness around your sovereign power as a divine creator, around wealth consciousness, around prosperity consciousness, expanding your consciousness about just doing your own work with your spiritual ascension journey, expanding your awareness around different healing modalities like NLP, tapping, being the person that does her meditations every day, investing in yourself, investing in the coach, investing in the course, investing in your education. Rather than us investing in the school of like university or whatever, we're investing in the school of life experience. And that involves us investing in our development, in doing things like working with a coach, buying that package, buying that book, taking care of your vessel, buying the vitamins, buying yourself good food, feeding your vessel with good food. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. 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 We have a visitor. We have a visitor.
Aber trotzdem kriegt der Hund darf nicht in der Wiese sein.
Ah, super.
Ja.
Super.
Der Herr hat
Super
gleich rausgesehen
Hund.
vom Fenster.
Ah.
Der Hund muss aus der Wiese raus.
Ah, ja.
Ja,
Wiedersehen.
ja.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, Shansi. Did you all like how I just owned my German skills right there? Love it. Yes. So, let me just connect again. Yes. So, to become these magnetic as fuck beings that instantly can manifest and instantly create what it is that she desires, we have to be working on that inner energetics to be magnetic, to be really anchored in our higher self and our power. But that takes time. It's a journey. It's a process of unraveling. That's why we do the inner work. It doesn't happen overnight. The inner work does not happen overnight. It is a process. And we have to trust that we're being fully supported by our guides and guided down the right paths. And that it's all going to happen for you. Just sometimes it's not going to happen in the timing that you desire it to, because you haven't expanded your consciousness around that enough yet to create that. You're being called to bring your gifts out into the world for a reason. But with that, when we declare that this is what we want to do, or when we start to have the thoughts, then we're sent with all of the lessons, all of the experience, all of that. And that is all set up on our path for us to grow through and learn how to maneuver through and learn how to surrender through, so that we learn our lessons to expand our awareness around the subject, to grow into the person that can create that will create that has already created that. But in order for us to grow into that person, we got to be doing our work. Our evolution, our inner evolution is so required for our revolution, so that we can powerfully radiate our energy into the world, so that we can remember and recognize our own divine power that's within us, that was born in us, that we forgot. We forgot it. We were born into this world, and it was impressed on, it was basically all of those past knowings, all those divine past wisdom knowings was erased from our mind. Not erased from our mind, more like a sleepy fog was put over us. All this illusions was put over us, so that we didn't truly recognize our own true divinity and sovereign power to be able to declare and create whatever it is that she desires. Our natural state is pure love. Our natural state is unity and community. Our natural state is pure confidence, self-belief, and infinite prosperity. Our natural state is such beautiful, pure joy radiating from us. That's our natural state. But think about it. Do any of you feel that way? Right? We have been programmed to believe that there's something wrong with us. We have been programmed to be afraid of the world. We have been programmed to feel separate from everyone around us. We have been programmed with such deep fear, such deep pain, such deep doubts. And we are programmed for that for a reason, to keep us out of our power. And as long as we are out of our power, forces who do not have the highest intention for humanity and the planet and thrive on fear and control will continue to be in control. So the more of us that are waking us people, us healers, us light workers, us amazing magical humans, mystical people, we're feeling that call now. We're feeling that call like we have to help because we know what's coming if we don't. We're going to get our asses booted off of this planet. We are facing the 6th massive distinction that this world's ever seen. It's coming if we don't change. And so we're now all changing. But it's us highly sensitive that are changing first. Because all that light that is coming down from the sun, from all the solar flares, us highly sensitive people are feeling it more. It is upgrading us very intensely. It's accelerating our ascension journey. And we're aware of what's going on because we've already been in it. But this light is also hitting the rest of humanity. Meaning that they're going to be waking up. And they're going to have so much healing to do as well. So we are doing our healing now so that we can help support those behind us, that those that are not those behind us, but those that are not as far along their journey as us, those that are just waking. This is like the Olympics. This is like the healing Olympics, the inner reality Olympics, the energetic Olympics. Because if we do not like work through the shit that's coming up for ourselves, we spiral. We completely fucking spiral. We need to be able to stop our spirals, be able to hold ourselves when we're spiraling, and continue to guide ourselves forward so that we can continue to help those that are a few steps behind us. I have something in my hair. Sherry, good morning. Good morning, Sherry. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm so glad to have you all here. Thank you. Ellie, Ryan, Maureen, Annette, Ashley, Cass, Sheila, Irina, all of you. Thank you for being here. Angel, thank you. Thank you. So, when we are spinning out, this is our opportunity to parent our inner child from the perspective of the higher self. The first step is to become aware of what's happening. Okay, there's a fear thing that's happening. There's this thought that I'm not good enough. There's this like fear of being seen that's popping up. Okay, where does it stem from? Have a conversation with yourself. Send love to it. Let your inner child speak. You know, maybe this came from one time that this person did this when I was a child, and so I learned this about that, right? And that's affected me in this way. And then have a conversation with your inner child. Send her love and say, it's okay. I got you. It's okay that you had this freak out. I send you love. I send you grace, but we're not going to allow this to be in our experience anymore. We're going to release it. We're going to surrender it. We're going to let it go. And we're going to call in my highest self, my safety, my security, my power, my energy to fully love and protect myself because I got me. Have those conversations with yourself. You've got to parent yourself. You got to parent your inner child from your highest vision. Step out of it. You got to step out of it and then parent yourself and then take an action that is in congruence with the direction you desire to head in, to just anchor in that energy. And then you're going to start to timeline jump. We're hopping timelines so freaking fast right now. We have to be ultra aware of where our energy is going, right? Do not allow yourself to go down those worry cycles. And if you do, you got to get yourself out of it. You got to do some healing work around it to get into the root, get into the seed and pull it out. You know what to do. You have so much wisdom within you. You are your own best healer. And in order for us to be able to expand and bring our gifts into the world and be fully supported in doing such, we have to have the full belief in that, the full magnetism in that, the full feminine embodiment, the full trusting that you are fucking magic and trusting that you are fucking powerful and trusting that you came here to do big things on this world. Trusting that you're fully supported by spirit, by your guides. Otherwise, you're going to continue to attract experiences in your life that will teach you over and over again in the form of a lesson until you learn the lesson and it fully anchors into your awareness and you fully expand your consciousness around it so that like older belief system no longer can be alive. Okay? So, this is where we're learning new levels of surrender, because we are working through so many lessons all at once, and it's rapid and all of these things. We just have to surrender and let go and trust that we're being fully guided. And when we do that, we are so held. Okay. I'm going to share a little bit about my story. This past a year ago, 13 months ago, I moved from Canada to Austria, as many of you know. And this past year has been intense with initiations, because being out of my normal comfort zone, the Canadian Mary that still was working through deep worthiness wound stuff, that was still working on healing stuff with family, healing shit with her friends, of feeling like inadequate around, like feeling less than her friends and all that stuff. That, all those like old belief systems, scarcity, all of it was keeping me anchored to a certain reality and certain experience in Canada. When I moved, Sarah had a holy shit moment. That's what I'm here to do, my love. That's what I'm here to do. Love you. Love you. So when I moved to Austria, all of that like deeper seated stuff that I thought I'd done a lot of work on, it all came up to the surface for me to clear, because I was no longer in an environment that was anchoring me to those old vibrations, and I was opening up so rapidly, and such new fresh stuff was coming in, all this fresh energy. It was completely out of my comfort zone, able to completely start from scratch. Oh, there's these little buggies crawling on me. That I fell on my face so many freaking times in dark nights of the soul, ego deaths, complete self-doubt spin-outs, because I was completely out of my comfort zone. Starting, I didn't know anyone over here besides my fiance. We'd been doing long distance for about a year and a half. So, I was also adjusting to having a new relationship, like not a new relationship, but like a full-time relationship. And at that time, I decided I was going to launch my coaching business full-time, because the whole me not speaking German and all that, it would just be easier for me to fully trust that my coaching business would be able to support me. But at that time, I still had so much of the inner energetic tune-ups that were required of me for me to be able to expand my consciousness and my awareness to the point of becoming and growing into the leader, the coach, the goddess, the queen that I am required to be to heal at the level that I am destined to heal. I had so much of my inner work to do still. And it, like, moving over here just threw me into it. Eclipse season, all of it. It was crazy. It was super, super fucking crazy. And I was putting so much pressure on myself to continue to create, to continue to sign clients, to continue. I was pushing and pushing and pushing, because this was my main income. And there was still a part of me that was not trusting that I would be fully supported by the divine, and so I was not fully surrendering. If I would have fully surrendered, I would have given myself the grace to properly settle into Salzburg while not putting on the pressure on myself to launch a full-time business at the same time. This created a whole bunch of unnecessary suffering and struggling in my experience, because I was dealing with so much grief. I was dealing with so much, just all this shame and this guilt was shedding off of me. And in that time, a person that I loved dearly, who's been in my life for 22 years, left out of my life because of my move, because that person could not find it in her to be happy for my happiness. And as a result, that majorly blocked my own ability to receive, because there was a part of me that was holding on the guilt that my happiness caused such pain to someone that I loved, that it also caused me a bunch of pain because that person couldn't handle it. But this was all going on in the subconscious realm. So this past year was so much about me doing the inner work, the inner energetics, doing the tune-ups. But in that time, I'd hired me a business coach. I dropped 5 figures on a business coach who is an amazing coach, super good coach. She's an amazing woman, but she was not the right coach for me. What I needed at that time was a coach that could help me with the inner energetics of helping me believe in myself and believe in my power and really stand in my power and allow myself to surrender and allow myself to properly settle into this whole new environment and allow myself to go through all the growth stages that was required of me to do so with grace, from a feminine energy approach rather than a masculine energy approach. And so I was pushing myself. I was burning myself out. I was writing from an empty well. I was uninspired. And it was like pushing a rock, like a huge boulder up a mountain. And that's not the reality that we need to be playing into. That's not how things should be. It's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be easy. So through all of that, I took the better part of this winter off, trusting that I would be fully guided and supported by the divine. Because in the actual, when you hit rock bottom, enough times you're going to get to a point that you stay on your knees and you're just like, I'm ready. I fucking fully surrender. Just, you do it. You do it from here on out. I'm just along for the ride. And it was in those dark places this past winter that I allowed myself to completely fall apart. And it was so necessary for me to allow the destruction of those old timelines, the destruction of those old belief systems, the destruction of the old poverty timelines, the destruction of the old poverty belief systems, all of it, the destruction of all of that. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years of conditioning was ripped, was like a fire burning through me, and it was painful and it was heavy. But through that is when I heard the voice, you're not alone, we've always been with you. And that's when things started to change. That I opened myself to channel. I opened myself to hearing the divine wisdom that was always within me, that I was just always doubting it was there because I hadn't done enough of the inner energetic work of fully trusting that it was in there to every cell of my being. So as a result, this entire year has been initiations for me to come home to what it is that I'm actually supposed to be doing in this world, what I have been contracted out to do. I had to completely fall apart to get to that point for me to fully remember who I am and what I'm here for. And this, as a result, I rose above the struggles with self-belief. I rose above my insecurities around my skin. And I allowed myself to start being seen. I rose above the idea that my power was outside of me. I rose above the idea that there's not enough. I rose above the idea of scarcity and poverty. I rose above all of that. And I started to fully see the full picture and unlock all these codes and be able to view where it is that I'm truly heading and where it, like the timeline that I have now anchored in. And so what all of this has led to is the channeled birth of my newest coaching program, Cosmic Radiance. And what Cosmic Radiance is, it's a 6-month program, and it's for you. It's for the woo woman who knows she has gifts, who knows she has magic, who knows all those things, but there's still parts of her that are doubting it. There's still parts of her that are doubting that she's going to be fully supported and fully she's struggling with trusting in herself, with her ability to create this, and trusting that the divine is going to take care of her, and trusting in her ability as a quantum co-creator. This is for the woo woman that still has so much inner work to do in order to create that heaven on earth blueprint within her, to start seeing that heaven on earth blueprint externally, because it all starts in here. It starts in the inner reality, and this program is to support you in doing so. You expand so much faster when you feel held and when you feel supported. I have been initiated so greatly in topics like shame, guilt, grief, betrayal, trauma, subconscious reprogramming, surrendering the masculine energy to work more on the feminine, and really healing my relationship with the masculine to create unity within. Building a business, working through the dark nights of the soul, the ascension symptoms, the ego deaths, all of it. Well, while nurturing your connection with your guides, with the divine. Do you see that light? Do you see that? Do you see that? Like right to the left of my... It's like this light ray thing. Cool. I love it. Right to the left of my glasses. My left. Probably your right. I don't know. Anyways. Oh my God. Love it. Radiating light. So yeah, this Cosmic Radiance program is beautiful. It's a collaboration between me and you to help you with the inner energetics, so that is required of you to get to that point of feminine magnetism, feminine radiance, fully trusting that you're going to be supported, fully trusting in yourself, and powerfully radiating your bliss and magic into the world, and integrating that highest self version of you inside, allowing her to completely take over, allowing her to own your shit while helping and supporting you through all that transmutation of the darker energies to the light, because it's intense and you do not have to do it alone. You do not have to do it alone, and you are so fucking powerful, and I am here to help you remember just how fucking powerful you are. So I'm only taking on 4 clients to start with, but up to 6 clients in the next 6 months. 4 to 6 clients for 6 months. So I'm booking enrollment calls right now. If you felt the call, which if you're still watching, you're probably feeling the call. But I know that the right women that are meant for this transmutive container are going to easily come in. Because it gets to be easy. And this container is made for specific women. And you know if it's you or not. So, message me. I'm booking enrollment calls. Spots are limited. And I cannot wait to dive into this experience with you. It's going to be pure fucking magic. It's going to be so beautiful. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so, so proud of you. And I'm with you. I am walking this with you. I'm walking this wild cosmic ride, path of ascension with you. Okay. I'm going to see if there's anything else that needs to come through. Give me one moment. Is there anything else that needs to come through? And finally, finding those things, those pockets of joy, as often as possible. This is actually the best time to be alive. It's intense. It is so intense, but it's the best time to be alive. This is heaven on earth, baby. Heaven on earth. So let's enjoy it. Yeah. We're going to have our days. We're going to have our ego deaths. We're going to have our dark nights of the soul. But we also get to live the most expansive, blissed out versions of ourselves. So let's take full advantage of it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to make sure that you don't miss the next one and the one after that, go ahead and click subscribe, as well as it would mean the world to me if you dropped a review below, and it's very easy to do and to help get this show out there, because there's going to be a whole lot of channelings and wisdom drops and ascension updates and all sorts of things coming through this feed. And the more people that we have in this vortex, the more accelerated the ascension process is, because we're like a great big amoeba, a big amoeba. Love to you all. Have an amazing weekend.